Hello, everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, we learn, and we play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today we're going to continue on with our Let's Play of Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. And since I'm not live streaming this, I'm actually just recording it. That means I can get the pencil out, and everybody knows what that means: bad drawing and big strategic overview. And so I just thought I'd put some arrows on the map here, since I can do it, and kind of talk about where we're headed, what we're doing. So I was going to look here at 18th Army. 18th Army is one of our 5 assault armies. Now we are going to be making another army, an assault army this time. That will either be 6th Army or 11th Army in the South. I still haven't decided yet. It probably will be 11th Army though. But let's look at 18th Army. So 18th Army is under Model and Lindemann. Lindemann is now into Pskov. He has taken that. We're going to move his headquarters over into Pskov. You can see Lindemann right here, his HQ. They are going to drive right here to the east of the Twin Lakes, including Lake Peepus. I just like to say Lake Peepus. Uh, Modal is over here. You can see Modal right there, his headquarters. The 18th Army overall headquarters is here, and then down in Riga is now Army Group North. Now we're going to move some things around there, and we're going to talk about a couple of things about depots and import ports and export ports that I didn't have quite straight in my mind before, but now I do. And so we're going to go through those again this time. But you've got Army Group North here in Riga. You've got the 18th Army headquarters here, and you've got Modal, who is leading the charge here. Modal is going to take Talon, and then we're going to be pushing east as fast as we can to get across this river. This river is very difficult generally to get across because the Soviets will really defend it hard. But that's part of the reason we're bringing Lindemann up here to kind of hit them from the side and from the rear. Once we do that, the two can combine and head to the western part of Leningrad. 16th Army. We really got to go look at 16th Army next time around. I was a little disappointed here between the combination of 16th Army and 4th Panzer. You can see the headquarters for 4th Panzer here. The headquarters for 16th Army is down here, still on the river, trying to boost this depot to get freight up to our 16th Army units. Now, 16th Army still has some remnants that are back here that helped us take Veliki Luki. But now that they have done that, they are going to push north as hard as they can. And they're going to go just to the west of this lake here and then up into Novgorod. So we've got Novgorod, we'll come over here, and then we'll head straight to Leningrad, meet the 18th there in the suburbs of Leningrad. 4th Panzer. 4th Panzer has really struggled out here, mainly because the Soviets are they're actually playing quite smart, the AI is. It keeps forming solid defensive lines that we have to try to break through, but every time we break through, they're putting us in bad terrain. And so the panzers haven't been able to run. Now that you'll often have that problem in the north, just because once you get here to Pskov, everything here is bad terrain. It's bad terrain here, it's bad terrain here, it's bad, there is no good terrain. Now we could have taken it around this way, but for what purpose really? I mean, 18th Army couldn't have moved any faster than it has here. So the Panzers weren't going to help in that respect. They've been trying to help 16th Army, but now we've even had to drop one back to refit. It was down to about 104 AFVs. We got to build that back up to about 150 or so. You want them to at least be around 150, if not quite a bit more. Now, the Panzers in 3rd Panzer have been on refit since early on, and many of these divisions have 220, 230 AFVs, just to give you an idea. So 1st Panzer, or I'm sorry, 4th Panzer up here is lagging behind. So we're going to restock. We've got them, the ones that need to be on refit. And then we've got to decide what we can do here. We really need to focus on 1 or 2 hexes, probably right in this area, blast through there, get the panzers through, because ultimately we want to take the panzers just to the east of Leningrad, cut off supply there so they can't come across Lake Ladoga. Sorry, I can't move the map when I'm drawing. But let's clear that out. That's kind of the situation in the north. Now, this turn, we're going to get into Army Group Center. And what's happening with Army Group Center? Well, actually, there's been a lot of good headway made by Ninth Army here in the green. And Ninth Army in the green here is going to stay kind of north of the river here, north of Vitebsk. And it's going to, whoa, where's my arrows? I just got scared. Where's my arrows? Ninth Army is going to push, just here to the north of Moscow. They're going to just try to chew up as much of this territory as they can. Now, we're going to be looking for good terrain where we can find it. Of course, with infantry, it's a little different. The woods can help. Now, they help the defender, of course, but the infantry fights better in the woods and the heavy woods than our panzers do, and so they can go straight, through some kind of more difficult terrain, let's put it that way, than our motorized units can. But this is the general basic direction. We're trying to move all of these units of Ninth Army in. We have some down here. We're going to try to move, up this way towards the north western part of Moscow. Then we have 4th Army that's down here. Now we can't really see them, so let's pull that off of here and we'll scoot down here a little bit. All right, so we have got 4th Army. Now 4th Army, it's kind of interesting. We have these infantry units that are in 2nd Panzer. You can see them right here, just outside of Smolensk. We're actually not going to worry so much about taking Smolensk this turn or next turn, not really putting a date on taking Smolensk. We will take it. It's all about what we're doing and leveraging and springboarding out of that. Now, 4th, here in the dark blue, so the reason I said that was interesting is because it's like we've got a whole nother infantry corps that can kind of push with the AFVs, with the Panzer divisions here, and that frees up 4th Army a bit to kind of go straight this way towards Orel. Now, we're really going to kind of angle this way. If anything, I would say we're aiming for Tula. And so we've got the Ninth Army that's going to be pushing here. We've got the 4th Army that's going to be pushing towards Tula. Now, as part of that, we will have a little offshoot go take Orel. Um, but once they get to Tula, then they'll head straight north to Moscow. Meanwhile, Ninth Army, doesn't have to vector much, right? It'll be there, but we'll be bringing something from the south, bringing something a little bit from the north, and that really brings us to our panzers, and we've got 3rd Panzer and 2nd Panzer. Well, if you just looked at this map, where would you take them? Well, you'd probably take them, uh, for their best terrain right here, right? Now, it does delay you a bit in the sense that, this is the more direct shot to come right here, but it's actually faster to come here and then here. The problem is we need to get all the way around Moscow. If you leave any part of it open, they can still get supply in there. You will just absolutely never take it. But what we're going to do here, or what the plan is, I said what we're going to do, I say confidently as if the Soviets aren't out here, is we're going to use these infantry divisions. And this is what I was talking about when it came to Smolensk. We could use these just to push directly into Smolensk this turn, but honestly, I think in the long run that would actually slow us down. What we're going to try to do this turn here is blast right through here with these infantry units, a little bit of help from the 4th, right? So we'll get a little help there. And what we're going to do is take the 2nd Panzer and go right behind Smolensk and then take second Panzer this way. Okay, and then third Panzers that's up here, we're going to bring it down here. We're going to put them all together, and then we're either going to, and it just kind of depends how this plays out, but we're either going to take third Panzer straight up this road system, this road network here, where we get better roads, or we're going to take them out here with second Panzer, and we'll just have them all come here and try to then build our ring from down here in the south. Meanwhile, Second Army is down here in our beautiful fuchsia color. It will be pushing. All right, let's get down there. It will be pushing. Gotta get the arrows. Straight to Gomel. Okay. Once it gets to Gomel, we're going to bring it out here to Kursk. We'll probably try to take it all the way here to Voronezh and get to the river with Second Army. Now, an offshoot will come down here uh, and also take any other points that we can get, which in this case would be Kharkov. So Kursk and Kharkov are both worth victory points we see here. So we want to take all of these towns, but we're going to use Second Army to get out here to Kursk, Kharkov, and potentially Voronezh. Now, I would love to get here before winter hits, really before the mud hits in November. So we're going to be just pushing hard. Now, we shouldn't run into a ton of resistance once we get past Gomel. The Soviets generally fight for Gomel very hard because, as you see, this is the last big kind of air base or airfield until you get out here to Kursk and Kharkov out in this area. But now that these really make a difference when it comes to victory points, we will push with second to get out here. As I said, fourth, we'll probably try to get an offshoot to get Orel, but generally pushing towards Tula. Seconds out here, I don't think we're going to go for Tambov. I mean, I guess if everything goes perfectly well, we'll try to get out here to Tambov. Ryazan, or Ryazan. No reason you can't take this if we're going to bring our panzers this way anyway. We may as well take the 10 points. Ninth Army is going to try to get Rezhev and Kalinin here. If you get out here to Gorky, well done. Well done, sir. But we're not going for Gorky. And we'll talk more about the South next time. Now, with all of that said, then, so we've talked a little bit about general strategy and what we're up to. I've had a few breakthroughs when it comes to depots, and I just wanted to talk to you about that. And in my fourth depot tutorial, we're really going to be talking about it. But one thing that I think I've misstated in some of the tutorials and some of the Let's Play up to this point, that I wanted to go back and just clarify because now it's clear in my mind as well. I thought I had a perfect understanding of it. Do you ever have such a thing in life? A metaphysical question. But I thought I had a very good understanding, but I was actually wrong about just a couple of things. Okay, one of the reasons we were not getting port to port action. That sounds like, a bad movie. The reason we weren't getting port to port action here is these were all set on 2, our export ports, and our import ports were set on 2. Now I've popped Memel up to a 3 now, but it was a 2 before. Well, depots will only send to depots with a higher priority level. And so these twos were sitting here going, no. What we're going to do is send it through the rail network to Riga, which is actually a higher priority. You guys are not a higher priority to us, so forget it. We're not sending you anything. So I'm going to back up here and do a few things with our ports and see what kind of differences those make. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to turn Kiel into an export port, okay? And it's going to be a level 1. We're going to have Lubeck also be an export port, level 1. We're going to have Rostock stay an export port, but we're going to go to level 1. All of these are going to be export ports, but they're going to be level 1, right? And that way they're going to look around for import ports that are 2 or above. And that was the problem we had before. We had some of these set at 2. Well, that doesn't really help when our import ports are set at 2 because they're not going to send it any freight. So we're going to change all of these to 1. Now the ones over here don't really matter. They're not in the Baltic Sea zone, and they have for this to transport freight across the sea, it's got to be in the same sea zone. And so they've got to be in the Baltic Sea zone. So let's go down here. We'll also make this an export port. Now, this isn't hurting you in any way making these export ports. They're not importing things for Berlin to make, let's say, right? Now, when they make this a war in Europe game eventually, some of these will need to be import ports because we'll be probably bringing supply, or I'm sorry, freight into Hamburg or into Bremen or some of these places to manufacture things or however they mess around with the production system. But as it is now, you're getting the same production no matter what you're importing or exporting. These are really just to get freight here and then move them to where we need them. And in this case, we need them up in the north, and we're going to try to get more and more and more freight up here in the north by exporting it from these export ports, and we're going to make them all level 1, and then that way, they should start sending to our level 2 import ports. And you may say, well, what's the difference here? Well, I mean, why are we even worried about making these import ports? Okay, great. They just, pop them straight across here. Well, it does lessen the load on the rail network out here. Some of it can go by rail, but we may as well get as much across the sea as we can because that's just not being used right now and it's available. It's not going to be a drain on Germany itself to, have the transport ships that we have available actually do it this way instead of pushing it through this rail network that you're already starting to see a little bit of yellow. I mean, it's not a big deal, right? But eventually these may start to turn a little orange or turn a little red because we've got so much freight moving through East Prussia here, or will continue to, and so, to the extent we can get some of it across the sea where we have open capacity, we may as well do that. Now, we'll put Memel at a 3. I want to bring as much to Memel as we can, and we'll keep these as import ports. Okay, so 3. This is a 2, so it should get some from those level 1s. Maybe, it depends how damaged they are. Now, that brings me to my next point. This actually has no port damage or rail yard damage, but let's go to Riga. And I had misstated something. And somebody pointed this out in the comments, and thank you for that. I was mistaken. I'd read something in the rule book and thought something worked a certain way. And what is that? Well, it has to do with damage, okay? And port damage works the way I thought rail yard damage did. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Now, when I've been talking about rail yard damage, I'd been referencing 5% damage or, 5 damage on a scale of 0 to 100, that would really hurt rail yards. That's not exactly how it works. It actually, 5 damage or above really hurts ports. And so if a port is damaged at 5% or above, it halves the amount of freight that port can handle. Okay, and I was referencing that 5% with respect to rail yards. That's not how rail yards work. That is how ports work. And so ports, if they're 5% or above, will have the amount of freight that port can take in. So this is a level 4 port, all right, here at Riga. It can handle 40,000 tons of freight, 4 times 10,000. But since it has level 5 damage, it can only handle 20,000 in freight. All right. The minute this clicks down to 4 damage, it can handle 40,000 in freight. So 5% or above in ports is what matters. Rail yards works differently. Okay. Now, every percentage point matters for rail yards. Why is that? Because whatever damage you have at a rail yard, so this rail yard right now can handle, well, I say right now, all other things with 0 damage this rail yard could handle 40,000 tons in freight. So you always take whatever this number level is for ports and rail yards and take it times 10,000. And that's how much base freight that can handle. All other things being equal. Now, that doesn't count if you've got a headquarters stack there, or if because that ups the capacity of the depot. Now, that doesn't really change the rail yard itself, but we've got 40,000, 40,000. No depot can have more than 60,000 freight, right? That it stores. That's the maximum capacity. So we've got plenty here. Let's get back to let's get back to the point. We're going down a rabbit hole there. Rail yard damage, how does that work? Well, the game basically does a dice roll, okay? And it's a 0 to 100. It's a 100-sided die. And Riga, since it has 27% rail yard damage, has a 27% chance that whatever freight this rail yard could handle would get divided by 10. Okay, I know that sounds confusing, but it's really not. And I'll bring the pencil out. You know I'm serious now, right? It's a oh gosh darn it, I've got it. The arrow's still on. All right, let's get to the pencil. You've got a level 4 rail yard. Okay, normally that means 40K freight. Okay, it's got 27 damage. All right. That means it's got a 27% chance to fail its dice roll this turn, its logistics dice roll this turn. If it fails this, you divide this 40K by 10. And so this could only handle 4K freight through the rail yard this turn if it fails this. If this goes down to, we were referencing the 5%, I was always doing that before when it came to rail yards and was wrong about it. But let's say the rail yard damage was 5, you've got a 5% chance of failing that logistics dice roll, and if you do, then it's 4K. Okay, so it divides by 10 whatever the freight capability of the rail yard is. This is essentially the percentage chance of you failing that dice roll, and that's how that works. So we still want to be prioritizing repair to rail yards, but getting down to that 5% doesn't matter. It only matters with respect to ports. With ports, it's very important. But that does bring up something that we need to be doing, and maybe I wasn't doing quite hard enough because we need as many construction units and secondary railroad repair as we can get at these army group levels, especially the railroad repair, which are those LAD rail yard. And we'll go look at one of those units, but we want those in the army groups. Why is that? Because then they can go out within 45 hexes of that army group and repair rail for us. I call it secondary rail, but it can become very important, like back here. Now, this is in actually 4th Army. We don't have it in Army Group Center because Army Group Center is way back at Brest-Litovsk. But there was a question that came up in the comments that said, hey, I can't get, or why are these guys not repairing rail for me? Why is that? Well, if you've got them in an army, all right, you've got them attached, I say in, if they're attached to an army, and all three of these are 4th Army, 2nd Army, 2nd Panzer Group, they will only go up to 15 hexes away from the army because they're always going to try to stay in command. Okay, now, the advantage of putting them in the Army group here is they can go up to 45 hexes. But one of the reasons they maybe weren't repairing rail for this commenter is if there is no damaged rail or there's no good, let me turn that around. If there's no good rail for them or already repaired rail for them to start at and to start repairing from within 15 hexes of the headquarters, they won't go out and start. They're not going to start right next to them if there's no good rail within 15 hexes. They just won't. That's how the game works. And so really you want to have these at the army group level Now we've got a kind of a strange situation here because we've got Army Group Center all the way back here at Brest-Litovsk. This turn, we're going to move it out to Minsk, and when we do that, we'll try to put all of these railroad repair in with the Army Group. But let's go look at the north and see if we've got that situation now. Now you can see Army Group North has these construction battalions in here. It's also got FBD4, which is our main rail repair, right? Which we actually have down in the center right now. It's got what's called road construction, and then it's got this RAD labor detachment. These are the detachments that go out and repair rail. From these major headquarters, okay? And so we should start to see it come out on the map this next turn. We just got it back here. I just put it in there, I think, this turn because we had found it out here in one of the core headquarters. We need to not have it out here, okay? Because those core headquarters only have a radius of 5. And so if it can't find a good rail hex to start on within 5 units, or within 5 hexes, it's not going to start repairing rail. So we got to get back here to Riga, to Army Group North, where it has good rail coming up to it, and then it will release and start building all of this rail network, in here, up into here, out over into here. And so we got to go find, to the extent that in these core headquarters we have any support units that we're not using, we need to release those. And this is a perfect example. Now we've taken Schubert out of command. Okay, he's got 0 of 12. Why is that? We turned 18th Army into an assault army. And so when we did that, we put everybody under Model and Lindemann. So before I forget, I want to move Lindemann into Pskov itself. Okay, we'll come back to Lindemann here in a minute, but we want to put him in here for a few reasons, but we'll get to that in a second. Modal is out here. He's not sitting on anything. You generally, even these core headquarters can boost depot capacity a little bit. But ultimately, there's just no, I mean, we don't have depot, we don't have good rail even leading up to here yet. That's part of the reason we want to get some of these rail repair back into Army Group North so it can start to build up here because our ultimately FBD4 is all the way down here. We're trying to connect rail here, then we're going to bring it up and have it go from Dagopels up here to Pskov, but it's not going to really be over here to the north, and so we need these secondary rail repairs to take care of that for us over here. Okay, back to the task at hand. We've got Schubert here, who we've completely relieved of command, and so we need to unlock him and put his support level on 0. Now all of this stuff should start moving up the chain. Now, if we did have a construction unit here, I would automatically go assign that to Army Group North, but as you see, we don't. We've got Werfer, Stug. Now we could, if we wanted to, we could take this Werfer battalion and go and reassign this up the chain, but I'm just going to allow that to happen naturally, mainly because I just want to move on. I just want to move on. I mean, if we're being the most efficient, we would go here, we would pick each one, we'd go assign it to either Army Group North or OKH, so they went to as high of a command as they could. Now that is going to happen naturally. Next turn, they'll move up to 18th Army. The turn after that, they'll move up to Army Group North, and so on and so forth. Again, I don't want to call it lazy. I'm not being lazy. Let's move on. We're doing a let's play here. If I was playing against another human and, it was a blood match and it was for bragging rights forever, I would sit there and do that, but I'm not going to do it for these purposes. Okay, 18th Army, we have these things that are just sitting up here like the Heavy Werfer, the Stugs. Now we could kind of do the same thing and release them. As it is now, this is fine. They're sitting here at 18th Army. We can drag them down to Modal or Lindemann if we need them. It's nice to have a little bit of a mixture just at the Army Group level that you can pull down. We could also put these in Army Group North and it would be the same idea, if we go look at 16th Army and it's a little under strength when it comes to support units, maybe we'll put it up in Army Group North so these units also have, or these core headquarters have access to these support units. But for now, we're just going to kind of leave it as is. As a matter of fact, I'm going to lock that and just have them here. We can pull them down anytime we want. That all looks fine to me. We've got these construction battalions, that's fine because usually the 18th Army is going to be sitting in a place we want repaired. It's going to move up to Talon here after we take it. We'll probably want to repair that. We'll probably also want to, we'll want to repair the port and the rail yard here at Parnu where we are. The rail yard's at 44, the port's at 42. This should automatically get priority repair. It's got a port and a rail yard. The game is supposed to work that way. If you capture a place that has a port and a rail yard that are level twos and above, um, then it should automatically priority repair and you don't have to spend any APs for that. We will go back and check to make sure that's true, but I want to make sure we have 3 support units there, or three support, well, they are support units. Okay, I guess I didn't totally misspeak. 3 construction units there to help with those repairs. If the game says, hey, it's priority, we want to have something there to do it. Let's go look at what Modal has. He's got a lot of stuff. I'm not sure if I'm particularly in love with the mix that he's got here. We want to make sure we have a pioneer battalion that's here because as we go into Talon, we will want him to have a pioneer battalion. Those are very effective against urban areas or cities, towns. I guess towns don't really count, but cities, light urban, and urban, you want to have pioneers, and you also want to have those Flammenpanzers. Let's go see if we can find any more Flammenpanzers because they just wreak havoc in a urban setting. Yeah, I don't see one. I don't see one. So as you can see, we can see the breakout here in Army Group North of our construction units. We've only got one of these RAD labor detachments in Army Group North. I would like to have a second one. We're going to have to go look for one where they've got, maybe some extra and try to just directly assign that to Army Group North. I would like to have 2 secondary rail repairs working out here, especially since we have our main one kind of off the northern front. It'd be nice to have 2 working behind the scenes. So we'll go look for that. 1 core looks fine. That's all good. Let's go down here. Now I moved Lindemann over here. One thing is as we get the depot here at Pskov connected, the core headquarters do help a little bit. They can bring the depot capacity up by uh, by 5,000 or yeah, 5,000 tons of freight, so 5K. The Army headquarters can bring it up, I believe, by 20K, and the Army group and above by 35K. Okay, so that's kind of the breakdown of how they help these. Also, he has some, um, no, that's not really true. I was gonna say he had a construction unit in here. I thought he did, but he doesn't. There are 2 Flammenpanzers and these suckers. I mean, they show as a 3 because they were just in combat. But we saw in this combat report, well, hell, we can go look at it if we really wanted to, but they added like 29 or 30 combat value, raw combat value in this urban area. So anyway, I just want him in the urban area there. He could help the depot eventually. I thought he had a construction unit or 2. I guess he can go get one. Why don't we do that? I'm sitting here talking about it. We just saw that we have some up here. Um, Maybe we'll steal one away from Army Group North so they can start helping repair Peskov. Yeah, we've got priority repair here on the rail yard, which is an 86. So we've got an 86% chance when this depot eventually starts getting filled up when we get the rail attached. We've got an 86% chance, at least right now, to fail our administrative tests there and that rail will be divided, or that freight will be divided by 10. I mean, that's a huge penalty, right? And so we got to try to repair that as quickly as possible. So that's Lindemann. Let's continue our kind of tour of the north here before we get into the center. Now you see here, Hansen has two construction battalions. They should really be with Lindemann. Let's put them in 50th Corps. Let's just reassign them. Now it doesn't cost anything nowadays to do this, and so you may as well. Because, why does he need them? Now we could put him in Pskov, but we're already over, we're completely stacked there, and I don't think we can move anything else. So let's just go put these in 50th Corps so they can help with the repair of Pskov, okay? What else does this unit have under Hansen? Again, Hansen's pretty decent. He's got a 6.56 on morale initiative admin and a 6 on infantry. A perfectly capable general to be leading infantry troops. He's got, some rockets. He's got some artillery. He's got a little flak. Decent mix here. What does 16th Army have available to it? Let's just go see. Okay, so 16th does have some pioneer battalions. I would actually like to, excuse me, I would like to see these kicked up to um, Army Group North. Excuse me, I need a drink. Holy smokes. And I'm not talking about the adult kind. I got got something caught there. There we go. Okay, I would actually like to see these construction. Oh, there we go. RAD labor detachment. Let's just go ahead. Oh crap, I didn't want to do that. I just put that in X core. Oh no. Stop. Reverse, reverse. Can I undo that? Um No, no. All that did was take our last move back. You can't do that. Oh gosh. Okay, well, that was a teachable moment. Don't do that. Well, he's now got RAD labor detachment, which has nowhere to go. I really want this. Yeah, I can't move it again. Son of a gun. Okay, we'll remember that next time. We want that to go into Army Group North, and then it can get out. That's the second one that we need. Hate when stuff like that happens. It is what it is. You're going to make mistakes like that. Um, okay, so this all looks good. That's under Hansen. We've got second core is von Brockdorf Alfelt. Okay, let's see what he's got out here. Artillery, mixed flak. He's got two pioneers. Again, we really could just start releasing these up to um, Army Group Center or Army Group North, I'm sorry. Either that or 16th Army, either one. I mean, there's no reason for it to be down here on the core level if you're not assaulting, some kind of fortification. So we'll just put them both up into 16th Army. We can always pull them back down if we want to. So we'll put them up there. All right. See what else he's got. He's got two construction battalions. All right, they don't really need to be here in 2 core at all. We can put another one in L core, and we can also put one in, let's put that in Army Group North. All right, and so now we're just kind of cleaning these out a little bit, and they are locked, so they're not going to be pulling anything else. Just make sure they're locked. They are, yes, yes, that railroad repair is locked in there. Son of a gun. I feel like a fool. No, it's all right. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. It's not the biggest thing in the world. Here's another one. More construction here, right? Let's go ahead and put these up into Army Group North if I can find it. All right. And we're just directly assigning these. It does take a little bit of time. That's why I wanted to go through this time and just do it. I've got a little extra time today. And we can also take these pioneer battalions. I think I'll just kick them up to 16th Army again. We'll put one in 16th, and tell you what, we'll put one in 18th Army just to make sure we have enough in the 18th Army, which will also obviously eventually be assaulting Leningrad, and then we'll push these back down where they're needed. Okay, this motorized core. So we're into 4th Panzer here. It's got some howitzers. It's got some mixed flak. Probably a little too much flak, to be honest with you. We've got the artillery here, a Stug, the heavy Panzerjägers. Wow, are those motorized? They are. Okay. Werfer, heavy Werfer, that all looks good. Um, right, let's go to 56th Motorized Core. We again have construction battalions here. We can again assign them back out. Why don't we put one of these in 18th Army? Why don't we put one of these in 16th Army again? All right. And then we've also got a Pioneer Battalion. We will put this up in 4th Panzer Group, just in case we need that eventually. That all looks good. Okay. So we've got that. Now, where is that command, that overall command, 3rd Panzer? Oh, or 4th Panzer. It's all the way back here. It's got road construction. Okay, that's fine. We'll just keep that here because it's always going to be. It may be up in Pskov. It may be in Novgorod. It's also got this Pioneer Battalion we just assigned to it. And with that, I think we've kind of straightened all of this out here. Now, I wouldn't mind having a depot here, especially here at Ostrov, because we're eventually, we're going to need this airfield kind of built up. And so I am going to, well, we've got the one at Pskov already. I'd like to have a smaller one here at Ostrov because of the airbase. It's a level 2 airbase. It's going to be important. These two will take the vast majority of our aircraft, I hope. And so I'm going to build a depot here at Ostrov, and we're going to put that on a level, we'll just put it on a level 2. We just want to draw a little supply here. Uh, Gosh darn it, I need to stop saying supply. I'm so used to the first game, you always said supply. We're we're going to be drawing a little freight here because we're going to have a lot of aircraft stationed here. And so let's draw it up here. Let's make a depot. We've still got 11 left, which is good, good. That's fine. We're going to have this be level 2. We'll put a core headquarters there at all times to up it. Now, that rail is not attached to it yet. It can send out trucks to get stuff, but I doubt that it does because we don't have any aircraft here this turn. Um, these two I've got as 4s. You could question whether maybe they should. Actually, this Riga should probably be a 3. No, let's keep that a 4 until Pskov comes online. Then we'll take this down to a 3. The reason being we want this to send from Riga to Pskov, right? And we want it to send from Riga to, what is this again? Parnu. Okay, and so you need this to be a 3 so that they draw off of it. It will not send freight to something of the same level, and so we need this to be a little low. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and make it a 3 just to make sure, they may send trucks down here, but that may be more efficient than the units themselves sending trucks back to Riga. So they may actually start to get some freight this turn. Even though they're not hooked up to the rail, they can do it with trucks. Okay, now then, I don't even like this depot. Why, why do you not like this depot? Well, it can't draw from anything, right? I mean, it can't get freight from anywhere. Not really. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a 3 and I'll make this a 4. Now, so it's a little closer. Again, it would have to send trucks, but I'm going to make this a 3. I've kind of rethought these. Um, because I want Vitebsk to be a 4 and Orsha to be a 4. Yeah, Vitebsk and Orsha to be our main ones. So we'll make these 3 so they can draw off of these 3s. Again, let's make Minsk a 3. As you start to leave depots behind and you've moved to the next level of depots, and we will put one in Mogilev here eventually. Uh, this turn, yeah, sure. We'll be all right. We'll take this down to 10. Now we're not going to be able to build anything. Well, let's go look at Mogilev. Let's see what we've got here. We've got only a level 1 rail yard. Is Orsha better than that? Not really. How damaged is Mogilev? Which is an important point. It's only damaged to a 25. So that's pretty good. I think we actually should build one here. Let's build a depot here. and let's make that a level 4, so it should be drawing out here as well. We've now kicked Minsk back to a 3. We've got Vilnius at a 3, which is fine because it can. These will not draw off Vilnius though. I'm tempted to keep at least one of these a 4. Let's look at Polotsk. Okay, the rail yard is very damaged at Polotsk. Let's look at Daugavpils. The rail yard is not damaged at all at Daugavpils. Okay, let's look at this rail yard at Rozhekny. It's only a 10. Okay, so that all works. I do. This is again, it's damaged. Let's just get everything flowing into Vitebsk to the extent we can. But again, that one's damaged. If that freight gets, divided by 10, that becomes a real issue there. And we've got the headquarters in here, 3rd Panzer Group. Let's move some units here and just get going and figure out some of this stuff at the end of moving Army Group Center. So right now, we've got this is our furthest northernmost uh, unit for Ninth Army. This is a broken down division. Now, what do we have here actually in Veliki Luki? Okay, we've got one part of the 16th Army. We've got a part of Ninth Army here, and we've got a Panzer here. What I'm going to do is take this Panzer, and I'm going to go ahead and move it out down here. We are going to be bringing this south for the most part. You know what? Instead of using a bunch of movement points, I'm just going to move it there for now. I just don't want this to look stacked because I may want to bring this unit in here to Veliky Luki, and I think I do. I think I do. So we're going to bring that in here. Okay. Now we could have put it there potentially, but I think what we're going to do then is start moving these guys just to directly east essentially, and see what we run into. Now this is the other part of that unit. Could take it this way and have these three just kind of move up this rail line, or up this rail line. Now again, there's Moscow. We're moving just to the northwest of that is where we're looking to move. We got a lot of ground to cover here with not a ton of units. So why don't we actually move this guy? Let's move him down here and we'll just kind of have a spread there. We got to move the headquarters up a little bit and we'll kind of do this more efficiently. We'll look at each headquarters as we get to it. Right, so let's move him forward and let's have him, well, let's look at 6th Corps. What do we have assigned here? Not a lot. Um, we don't need any of these here at 6th Corps. So let's take this Pioneer Battalion. We'll move it up to 9th Army headquarters. All right, so up to its direct headquarters. Now we could do this by just, making sure it's not locked and it should move up each time, but we're going to move all of these up to 9th headquarters, 9th Army headquarters, I should say. All right, and now he's not going to have any support units. So we need to draw some stuff down. Um, sure, let's do a gun battalion, heavy cannon. That sounds official. Let's do a howitzer, and we'll do a heavy howitzer. Okay. Let's also do a little flak, just so we have that in the unit. Sure. 666th. Ooh, that sounds devilish. We'll do that in the 655th and maybe the 448th. Okay. Sturm Pioneers. Okay, we got the Pioneers up there. We just put those in Ninth Army. That's great. Wow, we don't have a lot up here for Ninth Army. We need to shift some things over here to Ninth, I think. We'll put one Warfare Battalion in there. Okay, that's a decent mix. We'll lock him for now. We'll try to get some more things in the Ninth Army, but as of right now, we're just going to leave that be. We've got 2 units there I'd kind of like to blow away if we can. So let's do that. We'll do a deliberate attack with 6th Infantry Division. He should get full support units, and he did. Wow, a lot of firepower in here. We didn't quite move them. Wow, very kind of surprised about that. Okay, let's do what I would consider kind of a scouting mission here. Okay, we didn't quite move that one either. Nah, we're good there. Now then, let's move this infantry division, get it moving forward. And I guess we've got enough to do a deliberate attack there. All right, now we've routed that unit out. Uh, good with the 106th Infantry. And we still have, do we have we still have this unit back here that's got just one movement point. Okay, that doesn't really have a whole lot. That could move, but we're just going to move on. We've now got them moving east. We've kind of fenced this unit off. We'll get out and around it so it has to retreat, and we'll do that next turn. Now we could go ahead and do a very quick attack there and see if anything happens. We did destroy 32 Soviet aircraft. That works. Now, technically, we lost the battle, but we actually did quite well there. I'm not going to do that attack. Instead, we're going to start moving this next group up. But while I'm down here, I'm going to look at 28th Corps, see what we've got in 28th Corps. Again, construction units, pioneer units. I, it's not an efficient use of those. So let's move them up to 16th Army. Get construction. Now, if we were on the defensive, we may want some of those construction units down at the core level because it will help us build fort levels. But in this case, when we're on the offensive, there's just no need for it at all. At all. I mean, they're just not out here repairing anything. Let's put them at places where they can repair things. Okay, now we got to remember we've got that Panzer division right there. Again, he can't really move, but I'm almost tempted to have them switch spots and have him take this hex and have that unit go up and try to, let's get down in here. Is that a river hex? Yes, it is. Okay, so we need to get him out and around. Why don't we take this unit, that's part of all of this. He's still in command. That works. And we'll take this division here. Now, are we attacking? This would be to the southeast, right? Yeah, now we're not attacking over a river. But let's go here and look. Let's move the headquarters up. Um, this is 8th Corps. Okay, again, it's got pioneer battalions. So let's go back to this headquarters. I just want to make sure I locked it. I did. Okay. 8th Corps. Yeah, let's get these construction battalions out of here. We'll send them up to 9th Army. Construction. And hopefully this will really help us start to repair things a little faster too. So let's move this up to 9th Army. And Ninth Army. Okay, there you are. Gosh, I can't believe the one I really cared about, that that labor rail unit, was the one I was like, oh, no, 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 don't hit that button. Oh well. Oh well. Bigger problems going on, right? Who cares? Uh, what all did we have? Let's put a little more flak in there. Sure. Didn't look like he had much flak. He only had one. So we'll put two in there in case they need it. It seems to have enough of everything else. That all looks good to me. Let's lock him in with 8th. Now let's turn here and do a deliberate attack there. All right, good. We sent them flying, almost 5,000 men. Now you see we're losing aircraft, but we're doing 2-to-1, 3-to-1 on these ground attacks. The Soviets keep sending, ground support missions, but we're really chewing them up. I don't think I want them to go that way. Can I move anybody else? I kind of wish that was there now. I'm going to move him forward. I don't think they can really get around behind us. I guess I can actually move this guy. I said these guys. This division, they could either come here or here, but I think I'm going to move them directly northeast. I said that's really where I want to go with these guys. So let's just, hit them with a hasty, and we moved them back 42-to-1. Lost a few planes, but they're helping us here. We moved that back. That looks good. I don't think we can do any other attacks here. Everybody's in command. All right, so that all looks good. Now then, um, oh, he does have one. Okay, excellent. I was like, gosh, I wish he had one more division left. Now you see this 53 here? Yeah, we're not going to mess with that. We're just going to we're going to let him, do his thing. Strut out there, big guy. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to take this division. Hmm. I'm tempted to put him there, but I don't want to leave a 2 hex gap there. So I'm actually this time just going to move him up there. I guess I could put him here. Yeah, if they want to counterattack me, that's fine. We will get a little attrition loss there, but, it's all right. Let's see, if we were going to move all the way down here, which we are eventually with these motorized units, what is the path it would want to take? Okay. Now you say, why did he ask that? Because I just want to move him uh, back here first, and then we're going to take all of these units and come here to Second Panzer. Okay, let's make sure we got. No, this isn't what I was thinking of. Let's make sure we've got that locked. We did. We definitely locked that. This all looks good. We're just going to start pushing this way. Really, we're going to try to take Kalinin first with this Ninth Army. So we're going to push straight here before we turn this way. It helps for all sorts of reasons, right? It gets you victory points, but you also got major rail here that leads into Moscow, and we need to cut all 3 of the major rails, excuse me, into Moscow. This one, this one, this one. I guess there's 4 in this. I guess there's 5. If you count this, there's 6. But we need to get this one, this one, this one. Every single one of them. That's why you really have to ring it. Otherwise, they can bring in reinforcements, as they did historically into Moscow, right? Okay. So we've moved those units. We're getting a nice spread here for Ninth Army. And let's get down here. Okay, that was that headquarters. Now we're dealing with these 2 headquarters. We've got FBD3. Our major rail has already made it down here. It's next going to connect Vitebsk and Orsha. And then once we do that, we'll probably go down to Mogilev as well. And then we'll probably go back to Minsk and then start building this rail line. Eventually, of course, we'll connect up to Smolensk. But, having these out here and once we get them connected will really help supply our freight in the center. Okay, now then, these portions of Ninth Army are in 5th Corps. Let's go look at 5th Corps under Rauf. Richard Rauf. Uh, 5, 6, 7. He's a good administrator and good infantry. Good enough. Let's put it that way. Let's get our pioneer battalions out of here and put them up in Ninth Army. And also our construction battalions will go up to Ninth Army. All right. Now then, Ninth Army, he said. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so let's go back to 5th Corps again, and let's just see what we can pull down here. He doesn't really have any support units. Let's get a heavy cannon, a howitzer, a heavy howitzer. I like him to have 3 or 4 to the extent we can. We'll just pull one more. We'll get some flak, some motorized light flak. I wish we don't have any more mixed flak, which is the best. Well, we've got this one. Let's just pull that in there because they're going to be getting a lot of air coming this way. These are the engineers and pioneers we just put up here. I guess we can pull this Werfer battalion. I wish we had another Stug or something. We got to look out in the south. We must have just way too many support units down there. Okay, so what are we going to do with these guys? Well, really, I would like to kind of blast through this little area here, just to the northwest of Smolensk. We've got strong units in between Smolensk and Vitebsk here. I'm going to kind of leave them. We'll take this little regiment and we'll put it there. Okay. Now this is part of 20th Corps. Let's go back and look at 20th Corps since we're looking at them all this time. We'll put these all back up into Ninth Army. man, we're going to have a lot of construction and a lot of pioneers at this army level, which is good though. Okay, so let's put those back up in Ninth Army. And then for 20th Corps, what do you, you've got 5 of 9. Okay, let's pull some things down. Heavy cannon, heavy howitzer, a gun battalion. We'll do an army light flak. Let's do a motorized flak. That all looks good. Okay, none of this stuff. Let's do one more. We've got a lot of flak just floating around here. We may as well use it since we're doing nothing but ground support, which means we can blow Soviet aircraft, from the sky from our units themselves. And so let's lock him and let's go to 5th Corps, make sure it's locked. Okay, I want more in here, but we got to kind of deal with what we've got. So he's got his infantry guy here. And these are the other units of it. Okay, so let's move you there, and let's move you there, and let's reform the division. Okay, perfect. So 162nd is finally reformed. Um, who else does 20th command? Oh, 20th has got a unit way back here. All right, let's move it right there. I like that. Perfect. Now then, let's take these two divisions, and this is part of 5th Corps, right? Okay, 5th Corps only has these two divisions. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to do, they're 5 of 5, so they're in command. We're going to do a deliberate attack right here. Now, the Soviets are probably going to draw in every other units, but let's make sure we've got both selected. And let's do that. Nope. I'm very surprised they didn't pull in more. Okay, this was 1-to-1. Surprising. I thought we'd get a little better than that. Okay, so with that done then, hmm. Now they still have, the headquarters still hasn't moved, so they will get support units there. Hit them again. They held again. Okay. All right, well, we'll just have to leave that as is. I would like to move northwest. I'm not going to go directly into Smolensk with Ninth, so we'll just leave that as is for now. All right, let's look back at Ninth Army. And okay, it is locked. Look at all the pioneer and construction that we have here. We've also got them sitting here at Polotsk. Now, Polotsk we have priority repair on. Hopefully that'll make a difference. We shall see. Supply priority 2, that all looks good. We could always remember, you can go to the commander's report for just Ninth Army if you ever want to, and you could take off support units, you could take off map units, and now you can really get a nice look at what's happening with Ninth Army. Here are the 4 corps underneath it. Here are all the divisions underneath it. Who's really struggling with their TOE? Well, at this point, 35th Infantry Division is. We should probably, put that on refit. Um, Also, 5th Infantry, ouch. Okay, let's put them on refit as well. So anything kind of under 70, I like to have on refit. Now, we don't have this one. That is 226th. Okay, we haven't reformed them yet. When we put them back together, then I may put them on refit. Let's get out of here. Let's back up just a little bit. Just kind of want to get the sense of the full map. All right, so Ninth Army, we have pushing just northwest here. They're really going to head towards Kalinin though. Um, Now then, I've got to go. The reason I was kind of pausing there for a second is I actually think I want to move 4th Army before I move 2nd Panzer. Okay, now again, 2nd Panzer and 3rd Panzer, we're going to try to get back into this area so that they can either move this way or up this way, straight to Moscow. I'll probably take 3rd this way and 2nd this way. Yet to be determined, though. Yet to be determined. All right. Um, let's move, first of all, these two Ninth Army headquarters. Just want to move them up here so I can get a better look at them. It doesn't really matter if they're on the railway. I know I've struggled with that mentally in the past. I'm like, I've got to have it in the railway, but you really don't. This all looks good. Okay, so both of these are up here. You know what? I'm gonna unstack them. Just that's just how my brain works. I need to be able to see them. That all okay. Everybody's in command. Everybody's good. Ninth Army's back there. Now then. Oh, well, well, well. I thought we had another division, and that's why I kept searching around like, uh, shoot. I wish I would have brought them up here originally, but I may bring him up this way, or this way, or here, or there. So many choices. I thought I had another one. Yeah, let's bring him up this way. We'll do a deliberate attack here. I don't think we're going to get great odds. Yeah, we did not. We did not get great odds there, but that's fine. We're gonna bust right through here next time. It's gonna be right, kind of up into this direction. So the more we can kind of knock around and beat up a little bit, the better. Okay, so we've got 267th ID back here. I guess we could go ahead and move the Panzer infantry. Now, eventually, let's actually look at Ninth Army. It's commanding 23 of 27. We could put two of these in Ninth Army, and I think we will. What does 16th Army look like? It's 23 of 27. Okay, so, well, let me backtrack on that. This is 26 of 27. I guess we could put a couple in Second Army if we really wanted to, although that kind of seems to be missing the point to send them down here. All right. Well, I'm going to think about that. For now, the infantry's still in here. They're keeping up with the panzers for now, so I guess it's not that big of an issue. I'm actually going to start down here with Fourth Army and move north because I do want them to shift a little bit north. But the first thing we're going to do is look at Seventh Corps, what's in here. Again, pioneers and construction. It's crazy how many are in here. I was looking through this before the turn, and I was just like, we just don't need this. And so let's get them back out of here up to Fourth Army headquarters. All right, so they're out of here, but Seventh Corps does need support units. Hey, we've got some bicycle recon again that we could use. Let's get heavy cannon. Let's get some howitzers in there. So that's four. Let's get some motorized, some army light flak. Let's get three of those. Hey, there we go. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Now they're both in Fourth Army. Um, hmm. I really want to go put one of these in Army Group North. So this is 14th, that's 12th. Okay, okay. Where are you? Oh my gosh, I just did it again. I wanted to click and look at it. Oh my goodness. That's twice. All right. I'm not even gonna, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything else about that. I can't believe I just did that. Okay, this is the 12th. The 14th hadn't been deployed yet. Well, he's down at the core level now. Okay, I'm moving on. Moving on. I'm not going to say anything else about that. Don't do that. When you want to look at something, sometimes you're picking to put it in the core. Okay, I guess I did say something else about it. Let's try to knock that unit back. Of course, we did. We've taken this depot. We took out 30 fighters. That's how you can really chew them up with the ground support. You could move there, or you could move there, or you could move there. Okay. What about you, buddy? Let's get you there, and let's have you do a deliberate attack across. Oh, you can't. He doesn't even have enough movement points to do a deliberate across the river. Guess that's not that surprising. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to have to do a hasty attack there. Okay, 21 more fighters that we took out. We're going to have this, which is Ninth Corps. What's in Ninth Corps? Well, we got a lot of construction battalions in Ninth Corps. Now, they may want to build up on Mogilev, so that's fine. We'll leave those in here. The Pioneers don't need them here, so let's put them back in Fourth Army. All right. We got Stug, we got mixed flak, we got artillery, we got construction. Okay, that all looks fine to me. We'll move this into Mogilev this time. Let's see. Let's get up and around there. And let's do a hasty attack. All right, we send that flying. Again, 19 fighters we take out that time. 640 men, that was a good result for us. And now that we're over the river with them, let's also turn back around and try to attack there. That didn't work so well. Okay, well, we're across the river. Now this unit is actually, let's see how this all plays. Oh, okay, we've got these units down here. Let's bring him down here to meet up with his guys. We'll put him on that railway. We cannot do a deliberate attack. Let's do a hasty. Okay, which is not great, not terrible. Um, he could hit again, but I'm not going to do that. All right, where are the rest of your guys? There they are. Okay, this again is Ninth Corps. Ooh, he's in 8th Corps. Okay, that is 8th Corps. Got it. Okay, Ninth Corps. He's got more units down here, or at least he's got that one. It's got some Muma points. We'll get him up and across the river as well. All right. Looks good. Let's put the headquarters. Well, we can't go into Mogilev just yet. Does Ninth Corps have anything else? No. Okay. Now then, these guys may have to take one of these. Right. 8th Corps, and that is 43rd Corps. What are you? You're 43rd. Okay, 43rd is going to move up and around this way. How far is the question? I think we're going to put them right there, there, there. Yeah, we're going to put him right there. We're going to put him right there. We're going to put him right there. And then, okay, so I think that's the vast majority of 40, or that is all of 43rd Corps, right? Um, I believe so. Okay, let's go look at 43rd Corps. Pioneer, let's put that back in 4th Army. And then construction, we'll put back in 4th Army. And the other construction in 4th Army. Okay, now then, we are going to do, let's look at the rest of what he doesn't have any. Oh, I'm glad I went and, oh, that's the infantry division. Get on your headquarters, buddy. There we go, 43rd, underneath Mr. Heinrichi, who's very good. Let's go maybe see if we need something else, can get something else. Motorized light flak. Let's make sure he's got plenty of flak. Heavy howitzer, heavy howitzer. Okay. He is locked. Excellent. Now that is out of command for right now, but we're going to fix that in just a moment. Right. Let's put you there. Yep. They cannot do a deliberate attack there. Shoot. I was kind of hoping I could. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I mean, we'll fix that here in a minute, but all right, let's move this here. Let's get these guys going. And how far can you get? Just to there? Okay, that's fine. Um, this is 13th Corps under Felber. Felber's what? A 5-6, a 6-5-6 with a 5 infantry. He's okay. Let's get construction moving back up the chain. we'll put them in 4th Army, and then we'll put this in 4th Army. There we go. Okay, so the one unit's moved into Mogilev. Now I do want to get across the river, and then I want to hit there with a hasty. All right, we routed that out. 3,300 men, just crazy. So anyway, we've got these units totally isolated, obviously. Can any of these guys do anything else? He could attack there again, but I don't really want him to. Now we're going to move this headquarters here. And again, he's got construction battalions, so he can start working on Mogilev. I don't want to spend, I don't want to make this priority because I want to save 10 points to make one of the armies in the south an assault army. Okay, so I think we've pretty much done everything we can. That's not true. Let's attack right there and get him off our back. Even though that's across the river, we still just had a huge advantage there, right? 2,600 men. We just knocked them silly out of there. Okay, we do have this one more unit that can come across the river now that we've driven him back. Now they're really on the move, but now they're double stacked. But we're across the river. Now we're going to really start trying to move, as fast as we can, obviously, to get out here to Tula. That's really where we're going to aim for is Tula. Originally, I mean, eventually, that's where we're going, right? But we're going to go to try to get to Tula in the next couple of turns, maybe by turn 8 or 9. 9 or 10. How about 9 or 10? We've got to get to Moscow by about turn 16. Um, okay, that all looks good. We've moved Ninth Army. We've moved Fourth Army. I think I'm going to wait because there's a lot to do with 2nd Panzer. We're going to be using the infantry from 2nd Panzer to try to blow a hole right here originally. And then after that, we'll move the motorized through, or first, through first, and then we'll move the panzers after that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Man, we talked about a lot of stuff. Back in the depot stuff, I screwed up on 2 railroad repair support units. We'll recover. It's okay. Hopefully OKH will kind of shuffle the paperwork around and make it look like it was some underling's fault. Anyway, thank you guys so much for dropping by. This has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. It's a special vacation edition. No, I'm having a great time. Up a little bit early today, so I thought I'd record one. You guys be good. I'll talk to you soon.